There's something magical about watching tiny, delicate angelfish grow from eggs into graceful fin beauties. But let me tell you, it's not all smooth sailing. Between snail attacks, water changes, and a few unfortunate snacks, yes, sometimes parents eat their own eggs, this breeding journey was full of surprises. What started as a simple experiment with a bonded pair quickly turned into an obsession. I learned firsthand that patience, persistence, and a lot of baby brine shrimp go a long way. So if you've ever wondered how angelfish go from tiny wrigglers to thriving juveniles, this is the full and unfiltered story, mistakes and all. Buckle up, because breeding fish isn't just science, it's an adventure. When I first decided to breed angelfish, I started with 6 juveniles. As they grew, I watched them interact. And sure enough, a pair naturally formed. It's fascinating to see how they choose their own partners. No human intervention needed. At this stage, I increased their food variety, live and frozen foods, plus some bug buffet to get them into prime condition. One day, I noticed them picking at a spawning site and aggressively cleaning it. Almost like they were kissing the surface. It's a fun behaviour to watch. The female's belly looked noticeably rounder, while the male developed a nuchal hump. He also became a little pushy, which is normal at this stage. By late afternoon, the female began laying eggs in neat vertical rows. And the male followed behind, fertilising them. It was a flawless process, at least for now. Over the next 2 days, the pair diligently fanned the eggs to keep them oxygenated and prevent fungus. But I had a problem. This was happening in my community tank. There was no way these eggs would survive with hungry tank mates lurking around. I had no choice but to remove the eggs. I carefully transferred the eggs into a small jar with water from the parent's tank. For aeration, I added a gentle airline to keep the water moving, mimicking what the parents would do. Then came the crucial step, adding methylene blue. This helps to prevent fungus, which can quickly destroy a whole batch. Any unfertilised eggs turned opaque white, and I made sure to remove them before they contaminated the healthy ones. Success! The eggs hatched into tiny wrigglers, just blobs with tails twitching. At this stage, they don't eat yet, they survive off their yolk sacs. Now, it was just a waiting game. I continued doing 50% water changes, replacing the methylene blue each time to keep the conditions stable. The fry finally started swimming. And that meant one thing, it was time to feed. Their first meal, baby brine shrimp. I also crushed up some bug buffet into a fine powder.
Return to the tune, I can hear them sing.
Instead of transferring them straight into a separate tank, I used a fry tray. A small, floating box that lets fresh water flow in from the main aquarium. This setup makes feeding easier while keeping them safe. They ate well and grew quickly, turning into little orange-bellied footballs from all the brine shrimp. Thinking I was being clever, I added mystery snails to help clean up the leftover food in the fry tray. Big mistake. I woke up to find that the snails had turned into predators, eating fry while they rested on the bottom at night. I lost 30% of the batch before I realised what was happening. Lesson learned. By now, the fry were twice their original size. I knew that regular feeding and clean water were key to avoiding stunted growth. At around 2 weeks old, they were ready for a bigger space. An 80-litre grow-out tank with a sponge filter. If you wait too long to remove them, stunting becomes an issue, and I wanted them to develop nice, even fins. Now, in their grow-out tank, they were thriving. Thanks to the frequent feeding and daily water changes, they grew fast. The more I fed and cleaned, the faster they developed. By 2.5 months, they are at sellable size, a bit ahead of schedule. The average hobbyist would take 3 to 4 months. But my setup and routine sped up the process. Looking at the army of healthy koi angels I had raised, I couldn't help but feel proud. It had been a journey of trial and error, but in the end, I had cracked the code for breeding angelfish. Now, it's time to send them off to their new homes, and maybe start the process all over again.